welcome our viewers and our newest subscribers. I am your host, Natasha Brown, and this is the premiere of our newest show, Say It Like It Is. On this show, we'll be discussing diverse topical issues from insightful and entertaining perspectives here with my lovely co-anchor. So you want to stay tuned, turn on that notification bell, stay subscribed because we will keep you entertained and highly informed. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Absolutely, say it like it is. I have my amazing co-anchors here, Favor Jeremiah, Victor Sioku, William Sabule. Thank you so much for making it. I mean, this show is going to be so interesting. Yeah. All right, so absolutely getting right into it. The topic of discussion for today is the role and importance of financial literacy pre and during marriage. Yes. Yeah. I don't know, I know that, I mean, most of us would have seen what happened over the weekend or last week, the Ashraf Hakimi whole issue and all that. And it got me thinking, a number of us just want to get married and we get so excited about it, and we don't necessarily know what our partners think about money. True. You know, so you get married to someone and all of a sudden you are saying that the person's next of kin is his mom, and you're like, what?
That is quite a shocker.
Quite a shocker. And you are married. Who's your next of kin, William?
You tried to set me up, but then obviously it's my wife though. I changed that months after we got married. I started, with the conscious effort of changing. Every time I have to do any document, I now include her name as my next of kin. Then sometimes my daughter, but I always keep it within the family, not extended family like sisters and brothers. I always do it. Make sure that my wife or my child has access to me.
Victor?
Naturally.
Okay, definitely my wife. Okay.
Okay, even though we can't verify because I mean, no documents here, but
no,
some of us are good men.
Yes, definitely my wife. Okay, and I hope she uses my name for her.
Next.
Yeah,
okay.
That's another.
But have you noticed that in many cases you find out that most wives don't use their husbands as next of kin? Let me just keep it there.
Well, I think I agree with him because I've seen where they do mothers, siblings.
Sisters. Yeah.
Okay, this show, we've not even really started. He's getting his there already. What do you have to say, Favor? What do you think?
Well, I think I agree with Victor as well. A lot of times wives go with their siblings rather than their husband.
Yeah.
But then on the side of the men, you find a lot of them using their wives.
Okay, so really back to the topic of discussion, right? Like, what do we think? How important is discussing finances before you get married? Like, how important is it? I think a number of us, we don't necessarily even fully disclose what we own, who we are, what we have. I think for the most part, a lot of people don't do that.
Are not completely honest with
Yeah.
a lot of subjects.
And because I'm imagining if, like, before getting married, your fiancé tells you, oh, my next of kin is my mom. I don't think they would say that. It might just be like maybe a hidden type of thing. They might just cut around it, but
Then you get to find out later.
Well, when we want to look at relationships, at the relationship level, I remember while I was still dating, I never for once put any girlfriend or any close associate as next of kin for any reason.
No, but like relationships, like you are both sure. Okay, for example, fiancé. Yeah, you've put the ring on it.
No, that's not. It's not yet time.
No, it's not yet time to put her as next of kin, but the crux of the matter is the discussion. Are we open to having that conversation whereby I can ask you, so right now, who's your next of kin?
And you're completely honest with me.
And you honestly tell me, okay, it's my mom or it's my sister, and then I get to further ask you, so when we get married, who will be your next of kin?
Can I be honest?
Are those not like honest conversations
I
to
agree
have?
because, at this point,
Yeah.
these conversations are very necessary and they need to be had.
Yeah.
Right? They need to.
But can I ask that at that level where, I don't know if Victor would agree with me, if this kind of conversation comes up at the fiancé level or relationship level, most men will think that you're desperate and you're after what they have.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah, so I'm saying this based of our environment as Africans, as Nigerians. If you come up with that kind of discussion, you'll get this shrug like, what's she after? Is she beginning to look at my cars and my house? She wasn't here when I suffered and made all this money. So, but for a man that is just growing financially, just maybe you have a few of them have that kind of conversation with you, depending on how they love you, to the extent to which they love you. Yeah, so that's how I look at it.
Like, so
Even
Victor,
though it's an important conversation.
yes.
Pretty
So
important.
Victor, you're married. Before you got married, did you have this conversation?
No.
It was not important, or you didn't think it was necessary. That's what I want to get to.
I think
How necessary is
one
it?
might call me
Old school.
or just a reckless guy when it comes to stuff like this,
Okay.
because I really do not care. Okay, I'm I'm powerful in my own way. Why am I saying that? Because just like what has happened just recently about
Yeah.
Ashraf, in many cases, some men are very careful and scared about these things.
Yeah.
Okay, but due to the way I'm wired, even if she wants to carry the whole money, let her. Abina me make the money.
I
will find
honestly
way and
feel
go
that
and make
way
back
too.
that money. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
And why is it that we are having these deep foundational issues, especially in Nigeria, whereby when these conversations come by, even if it's the girl or the guy is bringing out this conversation,
Yeah.
in many cases, finding that the guy is the person that is more at advantage financially, then you now ask the question, why must it be just the guys? Why is it that we don't have scenarios whereby you now have the lady being
More
the
financially
advantage in all
buoyant than the
this?
man.
So I think we are having even very deeper foundational issues in our society here.
No, but I think the point of it is not necessarily about who has the more money.
Okay.
Because so a woman could have more money than the man. I mean, and the man could
couples
also.
like that, true.
There are couples like that. But it's the point of financial transparency and financial literacy where we can. Okay, so first of all, the point where. Are we, first of all, even open enough to say, this is how much I earn? This is how much I earn.
Yeah.
When we get married, what percentage are you going to be bringing in? What percentage am I going to be bringing in? And peradventure, our marriage goes south. I know in Africa we like to say, God forbid, but I think,
happens. It does happen.
I think at this point in time, we should go beyond the whole fuzzy feelings and start asking hardcore questions. If peradventure this love just maybe develops some kind of K-leg, which is, just hits the rock.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about the whole divorce thing? Are we going to do a 50-50 settlement? Can we have such discussions? Because when we talk about things like this, like William said, the man is already automatically looking at you like
Strange.
gold digger.
Yeah, exactly,
like they
right?
were calling Hakimi's wife. And for me, I didn't necessarily think she was a gold digger. I thought it was an unfair way to look at things.
I had to read her up.
I thought it was an
That's
unfair
how I
way to
feel
look at
too,
things.
But then again, for Hakimi's case, let's also understand some of the things that happened. They were just together for, I think,
2 years, I think.
Yeah, about that, plus relationship time to when they got married, roughly about 5 years all put together. And in that period of time, the guy was already on a very, high pace of growth financially. He was doing well in his career and all of that. So one would say that at that time, at that level, most men will want to play safe with the ladies that are coming into their life. When you're coming in and I'm already established, it's different from when I'm starting off with you.
Yeah.
So men that are already on that path of growth financially would protect themselves. So once you're coming into their lives, I'm not surprised that this happened, although a lot of these celebrities and superstars and billionaires, as it were, don't ever have the opportunity to play it as safe as Hakimi did. He was wise enough to have started buying properties in his mom's name because he was pretty young to own certain things and in his name. So he started buying in his mom's name and felt the need to leave it that way. And then, for Christ's sake, can we agree that 5 years is quite a short time to even let or to part with half of your wealth in a marriage? Yeah, I feel that.
So what is an ideal time? An ideal year time?
Okay, I'm going
to
to
be able to
answer
part
that by
with your
saying
wealth?
that I wouldn't mind leaving the entire property to my family, whether wife or children, if we've stayed at least over 10 years.
Oh, 10.
So
So
10 years has to be
there's
the
a mark to it.
benchmark.
There's a mark to
for
it.
I'm
you
not
to
trying
be
to put it
able
like
to
let it
part
be a
with wealth.
benchmark, but in the 5 years or maybe 3 years period, what exactly had gone down? Has it been that within that period of time, I've been uncomfortable?
But so Victor, like my little issue here is, why do we find it so uncomfortable having financial conversations in our relationships prior to marriage? Why?
Yeah.
Why is it a thing that most of the time we are careful about? Is it lack of trust? And if it's lack of trust, then why are you dating someone you don't
actually
trust?
don't trust, right?
I know the issues will be on men because right now, Hakimi is about the man, okay? But now let me play this scenario whereby you have an average guy dating a rich girl.
Okay.
Then the average guy comes up with that conversation. In our climate, in our society, also, I mean, wrong.
He's
wrong, no.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
But isn't that a faulty way of thinking?
I think that's a generalization even, because
Isn't that a faulty way of
doesn't always
thinking?
play out
because,
like that.
like for me to date you, or for me to be in a relationship with you, and then maybe we have put rings on our fingers to say that we are going to be fully committed to each other, so this is a sign of my commitment to you. That means I should be willing to take the long haul with you.
Yeah.
Meaning we should be able to have the hard conversations.
Yeah.
Whereby, so if the guy is somewhat disadvantaged financially, they should be able to have that
Conversations
conversation
around
without
it.
feeling like, oh, are you trying to take my money or whatnot? I think it's a very unfair way to start a marriage, and talk more of when you're in the marriage. Now, the crux of the matter is mostly when you're in the marriage. Because I felt bad for her. I felt bad for the wife, where everybody just simply termed her gold digger. You came in for the money, you came in for the money.
Right, yeah.
But they are forgetting the fact that this guy did not do right by the
her.
wife.
Yeah.
She is your wife.
I agree.
And then, I don't know if we saw that tweet where somebody tweeted and said, your wife is not part of your family.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Your family is your mother, your sisters, especially from the man's angle, and then your kids.
I would
but the
say
wife
that's-
is like a separate
So
entity.
who is your
No,
wife?
no.
Who then is your
I
wife?
think that guy or whoever that person is must be speaking from a very ignorant point, and a point where a lot of people will not go by. I mean, how then do you start off your own family? If you say your wife is not your family, how did he that was treating came about? Because his mom and his dad broke out from a family to start off another family that brought him into the one he's saying his own is not part of. So I think that's a very terrible way to put it, and it's a terrible notion.
As terrible as it sounds, you'll be surprised how many men or how many guys would go with such a concept or such an idea.
That's for the modern day.
I looked on Twitter and I
modern day
was shocked
people.
the amount of men that kept applauding.
Heralding
him.
it.
I don't know.
I was shocked, but I just kept saying, okay, I know you, so don't come into my DM, I know you. Because we cannot think naively that gold diggers are not out there.
They are.
They
They are, both men, both women.
alike.
But if you have chosen to marry this person, that's a whole different ball game.
I agree.
That's a whole different ball game. But I know that for me, on a subtle note, I felt like half of your wealth.
That's huge.
Especially when
That's huge.
hundreds of millions of dollars.
It's just like typical case in point, Jeff Bezos and his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
And
a
also-
lot of money. But
About-
then, if
Bill Gates too.
I'm to take from William Zabule, I mean, he had already stipulated 10 years, so they had done more than 10 years.
So she
So that's
deserved
fair
it, was
enough.
well deserved.
Okay.
That's fair
Yeah,
enough.
because I feel that at that time, these wives must have invested a lot from bearing children, from contributing to your
Their
growth.
time.
Because let us also understand that most men that are successful, they just get there on their own. They got there from encouragement from their mothers, from their sisters, if they're married, from their wives. And these wives also sacrifice a lot. Because if you're working abroad for 6 months, there's a wife back home that is lonely. There's a wife back home that's taking care of your children. There's a wife back home that's attending to your parents, to your siblings, everybody coming in. So I feel they have, put in a lot to deserve something if you are going to let them go. Yeah, I see Victor trying to.
yeah, so you are trying to evaluate the work done to money. Then you ask, those jobs you are carrying out, let's say for instance you have a child of about 5 years.
Yeah.
I say, okay, you want to evaluate how much per day should be paid. Okay, fine. The guy will count the money. If it's $20 per hour, the guy will count the money and give it to you.
All right, if we're going to go by that, over 10 years or 15 years or 20 years as the case may be, you probably will be letting go or parting with half of your wealth. I feel so.
No, not
It
when,
might
not
not
when,
get close to
not
that.
when you are.
It might not get close to that.
Let's say Bill Gates.
Oh, but
Bill Gates, yeah, Bill Gates. She almost ran him down.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
60%. I think it was up to 60%.
Yes, about okay. He's on 110 billion right now.
Yeah.
And she took about 70.
Wow, that's huge.
That is big money. Okay, so in a case like that, are you not telling me that
She
70
has born
billion
him
was
children.
what?
She has born him children.
Is she the only one that has the child?
20-something years old.
Yeah, about that. Early
That
20s.
woman invested over 20-something years in a marriage.
And that's my point.
See, the guy also invested 20-something years in the marriage.
But Victor, that's my point. My point is still the same. That if you've had a partner that has been with you through thick and thin, probably has been swallowing all the rubbish. And most times when these divorce cases come up and then wives or husbands are parting with, property and money, it is based off of the fact that the other party erred or has gone against the agreement. It's not because if you keep the agreement, courts will not rule for you to be parting with these huge sums. They probably let go of certain things for you, but you will not be going with 70%. So once one party has erred, what it means that you have breached the contract. So if you have breached the contract against me wanting to stay on and making the marriage work, why shouldn't I go with your 70%?
See, the issue right here is that, I will repeat myself a bit, the foundation is faulty. Reason, because relationship, marriage has been monetized. In fact, it has even been monetized that a girl, you are dating a girl, girlfriend, you are telling the girl, you are ending the relationship.
Yeah.
Girlfriend will ask you, will tell you, you must give me money,
Yeah.
you must settle me. For what?
Oh,
Why would I settle
to be in
you?
a
At the point
Why would I
of
settle you?
At the point of breakup, they are requesting for
Yes, for settlement.
for parting
For
money.
time equals
No, the guy did not spend time, Abi.
time equals life.
The guy did not spend time.
For time spent. Meaning the girlfriend was hoping it was going to culminate into marriage, but it did not. So at the end of the day, she is saying,
Okay, marriage is that package. Is that crossing of the line,
No, but-
in a
but-
marathon race.
But seriously now, let's get right into this. How important is having financial transparency pre and during marriage? How important is it? And what's your take on it?
I think that to a very large extent it's important because a lot of other factors are bordering on it.
Yeah.
So you have things like the couple's financial aspirations, what are their financial goals,
Yeah.
what do they want to achieve at so time of their lives. And when you don't have these money conversations, you probably won't be able to get a clearer picture. How about money management,
Yeah.
debt? A lot of people are in debt. So these are the issues that should be discussed. It also helps them manage their finances better. It provides an avenue for reduction of where you have things like financial stress and things like that. So when these conversations around money, when they have them, when couples have these conversations, you find out that a lot of all these other factors will play out on an easier note because these are things that have been they've seen them, they've foreseen them, and they've had the conversations and possibly ways to walk through them when things like that will arise.
Okay, cool. Victor?
It is necessary for me, but mainly not just for, let me come from me being the husband and the wife. Mainly not just because of my wife, but because of the kids. Reason, we have instances where men can go gaga and forget about the kids and their future, okay? So that money will help in more like an insurance that these kids
Are covered.
Yes, are covered. Then for the wife, my advice out there, yes, I know many women out there are more like homestay moms. Now it's not like a certificate, especially in Nigeria. I'm a homestay mom.
It's a full-time job.
It is, I agree.
So please, full-time job.
It is a full-time job, but that's a topic for another day.
Do you know what men, especially in Nigeria, that the economy is so hard, what men go through?
Out there.
See, I want to be a stay-home dad, though.
Yeah.
You don't know. Hey!
In fact, Victor,
Stay home,
my mouth. Most times I feel like that. Like I just need a week off where I'll be pampered. Let me just rest. Rest my brain.
No, but that's a topic for another day. But I mean, if you wanted to be a stay-at-home dad, that's why you would have found someone who was willing, to come onto that kind of path. past. I think the biggest thing right here is like communication. But at the end of the day, being a full-time housewife is a full-time job.
It is.
Like
And
a
a lot of
CEO type
women
of job.
demand to be paid for
And
such
then
a job.
you see when men think about, oh, they want to be stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad. Just read through a few men that have tried it.
No.
They literally had to fall on their knees
Okay, but-
to say no.
I can't handle it.
Because the nomenclature of a man does not function in that way. It's not in line with a man to stay at home.
Anyway,
You know,
but
the
this
wiring
is
of
us
the-
Why?
Yes, now.
Why? That's why men die, you. Because you are carrying too much of load.
No,
Who has the highest blood pressure? Men.
okay.
I have men, I mean
Young
men at
people.
my age,
Yeah.
that every morning they will take tablets and start swallowing for high
to
BP.
keep
How many
them.
women, how many ladies at my age do that? Because of the pressure. The pressure is too much from the society, from the family. Oh man.
And then in a country
economy
like
too.
ours, where the economy is always against us, most of the policies around us are working against our businesses and the things and the effort that we put on. You begin to find out that your blood pressure will continue to be on the high
the
because
rise?
Okay, so I see that we have a lot to talk about, and I hope that you have been informed so far and entertained so far. But just stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Welcome back. All right, so before we went on the short break, we're talking about the whole Ashraf Hakimi situation as well. So in other news, definitely we're getting into this. The question is, was he right in what he did, or was he a bit immature? Because actually, what was said, what he said, like his excuse is that, so at the age he started, he was quite illegal for him to have all of these things in his name. So he started that, but you're a man now, you're married, you are aware, you're informed. You should have been able to, make a name change, but he did not do that. And now the court has ruled for him to get, I think, up to $3 million from his wife. So at the end of the day, was he right, or what's your take on it? Let's start with Victor.
Was he right?
Or what's your take? Whichever way. If he was right or immature or a baby, I think he was a baby, but at the end of the day.
Was he right? I would say no. Okay? Because he's married. From my own Christianity side of things, it's not the right thing to do. Okay, and yes, he's a Muslim, and I'm sure that that's not what the Holy Book teaches. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep it there. But I have some reservation.
What is your reservation? I want to hear what your reservation is. Because I'm thinking Victor thinks it's business smart. But what's your reservation?
Okay, my reservation is that why are people making so much fuse out of this? Especially, okay, you come. Yes, mind
Especially
you.
the ladies that
Yes. Okay, and another part of the reservation is when you bring this thing home, you find out that, home I mean Nigeria, you bring it home, you find out that it cannot happen here. Okay, and you ask, why is it that we are not having so many divorce like over there? In this place, because poverty has gone hard on us,
really hard.
you find out that many persons out there, they have cheating husbands, as in capital heavy cheating husband, but they cannot
they
leave
stay.
because they know that if they leave,
Economy fails.
nothing
will
touch
them.
them.
fall back on.
Yeah. So that's why I think the boss is just too much from this part of the Niger.
Well, I would go with the second. I think he was a bit too immature, just like you said. At the initial stage of his career, he was too young. But then again, you're well over 18 at this point. You're married and even with a kid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are factors that he should have rightly considered and do what was right or what is right by them. So I think it was immature. really immature.
Yeah, same standpoints I have, which is the fact that at the relationship level, yeah, it's okay for you to leave these things in your parents' name or whatever it is that you were doing before that time to protect you. But once you move past that level and now in marriage, I feel at that time you should be totally accountable to your partner, and accountability at every level, because when you tell someone that I love you, and not just I love you enough to spend the rest of my life with, I'm sure that's what they agreed on doing before all of this bridge. When you take it to that level, why still hold back? What are you holding back for? That means you had a plan. And that's the part that I don't agree
That
with.
means you foresaw.
Yeah.
That
So-
this wife of yours
Probably.
might choose
And then at the end
eventually.
of the day, it is not the wife that is even breaching the contract.
Exactly.
From the stories making the rounds, you were the one caught
Right.
cheating.
Right.
You went against every agreement you had with your wife, yet she is paying for your stupidity. And those are the things that I disagree about. In marriage, I said it before, once you have taken a wife, there's a level of responsibility that is expected of you. When you begin to go below that, I think it is childishness.
Childishness.
It is ignorance, and in fact, it is the lowest level of lack of commitment anybody can show.
And now, even what hit me personally, why the case kind of riled me up, is because I'm wondering why we don't have laid out systems in our court regarding divorces, like in Nigeria. It is very unfair.
Yeah, bringing it down.
It's very
home,
unfair. You get divorced, it's almost like the man can choose to say, I'm not even paying alimony. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
What is going on? So it is so unfair, and I don't know why our judicial system is like that. I hope something can be done about it. Because now, even coming down to the question of prenuptial agreements, I don't think we even engage in that.
Okay, so
I don't think a number of us engage
the
in that.
court has a section of the marriage, I've forgotten the other part, what they call it, but there's a marriage constitution for section 72, subsection 2, that is talking about where you can have that section kind of like permits you to write your own agreement with lawyers based off of a fair kind of agreement, where if you're having a divorce, based off what may have transpired, your partner will go with a certain level of reward or something called upkeep. And if the judge in Nigeria, in that constitution, it clearly puts your faith in the hands of the judge, where it will help you to determine whether, okay, based on what has happened, your wife tried to kill you, right? Okay, since you say you don't want to do again, take 40% as your parting gift to go and manage your life. And like I said earlier, all of that will depend on what had happened and how far you guys have gone down the journey.
So it brings me to the question of prenuptial agreements. So definitely, if Jeff Bezos, if Ashraf, if Bill Gates, if all of them, if they had had prenuptial agreements prior to the divorce or whatever, it wouldn't have gotten to the point where I have to give you 50% of my properties, depending on what we agreed on, right? I think there's even, I haven't seen the draft, but allegedly, Beyonce and Jay-Z, and they do have their own prenuptial agreement. Peradventure, they part ways. So it brings me to the question of how important do you think drawing up a prenuptial agreement is prior to a marriage? Do you think it's a precursor to saying, we're going to have a disastrous marriage? Or do you think it's a wise decision just to, cushion things, peradventure things go south? Victor?
Okay, it is not romantic in any way.
Yeah.
Okay? Because everybody
But
will
it's
be-
quite logical.
Yes.
Quite
Well,
logical.
love
Especially
does
at
not-
the time where we find ourselves with a
Well,
lot
we-
of things like this springing up and causing issues.
Agreeable, but then we don't express love with logic. If you can logically
That is why we have all
Says
these
the,
issues.
the gender who says men are logical.
So then let's not call marriage. Let us call it some kind
No,
of
but
partnership
I mean,
agreement.
no. But honestly, looking at it holistically, marriage is both love and partnership.
At the end of
what
the
are
day,
we doing?
At the end of
so-
the
It's a
day,
partnership
So
at the
what?
end of the day.
If you put it that way, it's both love and partnership. What role is the love playing? Because if you love enough,
The love cushions the effect of, whatever wrongful things that are supposed to happen. But Victor, I'll just let you finish.
Yes, like the society, I will always try to bring our society into this matter. The society we live in is damaged.
Oh yeah.
It's really damaged that things like this don't really work. Even the prenuptial agreement, yes, you have an agreement before you get into the marriage, right? Mm-hmm. But do you know that when the issues come up, you take it to a judge, a Nigerian judge. In many cases, they will not even
regard it.
Yeah, you take it to the police. The police will tell you go to your church or go to your parents' house to go and settle it.
Call your community
leader. Yes. Then when you also now have a situation whereby just like the Ashraf case, cheating. In Nigeria, cheating is running a part of the economy. Yes.
Demand and supply.
Right. Yes, it's running a part of the economy. Yeah. So the government on their own know that this is helping us. So why are we going to block this space?
Yeah.
Because they don't want people to agitate.
And I'd also like to add, since you brought it down to Nigeria, on our society as it were, as Africans and as Nigerians, if you are divorcing your husband based off of cheating, a lot of people will think that you're insane. Yeah. They will think that you don't deserve a penny because you're not a patient wife. You're not an enduring wife. You don't have respect.
Yeah. Or an enduring or patient husband. Let's, make it.
Yeah, that's just it.
Then the damaged wife.
That's not the case for both genders.
For the man, they will kick you out. And you will not leave with a penny. But for the woman, if the woman is the one complaining about my husband is cheating, I think I want to leave, they will think you're mad. I think you're insane.
Then the damaged wife, maybe because she does not have means of survival, she will now tell the husband, cheat, but don't give me disease.
Exactly, that kind of thing where you have to settle.
That's where it gets
you have to settle for the most annoying rubbish. You have to settle for that. And do you know that most marriages are at that level at this time, where their wives, these wives, they probably put condoms in their husbands' traveling bags, knowing that there's nothing they can do about his cheating lifestyle. And if they go and complain, even to the courts, you are left with the option of, do you want to stay or you want to leave with nothing? And these men,
they tell you for the children, think about the children.
Okay, so, I mean, it's a very horrible take. It's not just like a horrible take. It's more of a horrible reality to accept that people would actually stay in such situations. So, for me, the other flip side thought will be: so if a wife or a man is going to stay in that kind of marriage, then okay, please make sure that I am amply settled. That peradventure, I can't take this anymore. Am I getting my 50%?
Yeah, a compensation that is commensurate.
There should be compensation for that.
Because it's this prenuptial agreement as to what I'm getting in terms of money for in our Nigerian setting will be that 9 out of 10 times will be looked as if you have a plan to destroy the home and run away with my property.
Which I think it's a low intelligent, it's of low intelligence, right? Why? Because, so sometimes you want to think of, prenuptial agreement, it's a precursor, for, saying, at a point in time, I might go crazy, just in case. Yeah. But I think not. I think that we live in a society that is very volatile.
True.
Your husband could die tomorrow, your wife could die tomorrow, and then the family goes crazy and you flips it off and you have nothing.
Oh yeah.
Right? Okay, but if you have that concrete will or agreement that itemizes what is yours,
it works to your advantage.
It keeps you safe to a large extent. I mean, I know that our court is very biased in Nigeria, and it is so unfortunate. But still, at the end of the day, because there's a case in point of a woman, young lady, young man, she never did have a child. The man wasn't in good terms with his family because, they were all usurpers. Yeah. So, but the guy died. Wow. Young couple in their 30s, died. But there was no agreement or anything. So the next day, the father of the man comes to the house and asks for the car keys. Yeah. How dare you? How dare you? So I look at this pocket scenarios. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, we need to have such conversations.
Yeah.
Right? And
Ones that will protect me.
And if we're not going to do prenuptial agreement, because Nigerian men, ooh, a lot of Nigerian men will be like, okay, Natasha, I don't know where your head is at,
what's your
but
plan?
get your head together. So, but if we're not going to verbally do or write down a prenuptial agreement, then
we should have
we
the
will have that
conversations.
financial policy whereby there will be an account that there's going to be some monies remitted, just in case.
For the kids.
Well,
if
This
not-
one is just for in case you go south or you go rogue.
That kind of account.
And
is
Amaka happens to you.
would it be a joint account or something?
No, it's just. I call it
For
a
the rainy day.
a vault account. Just keep it there
Yeah.
in case anything happens.
I think I agree.
Somebody has, and that has to be the wife anyway. but the lawyer has to be a co-signatory.
Okay, so in
Okay.
other words, that's your own kind of prenup
'Cause, I mean-
agreement. Like, lay out something for me as your wife. Like, if it's a protection plan
Yeah,
for
that
me
would act
and the
as a
kids.
sort of
But
covering.
I
It's not a
know
bad
this
idea.
is the part where men will also say, okay, where's my own covering? In case you go south, where's my covering?
Oh yeah, but whether you like it or not, some people will, because of that, begin to make plans to destroy the home so that they can go walk away with
That's
that
true.
money.
That's
So you
true.
see, the heart of man is desperately wicked. You cannot really predict these things, but in a very real scenario where the love is real, I don't think there's anything like prenuptial agreement or whatsoever that is necessary. If you truly love,
Love
That's
can
the
be
thing,
real.
that's the
Love
thing. It's not
can be
even
real.
just about love.
Love can be real, but life hits us in different ways.
Exactly, that's what I was going to
And
say.
life
So
can affect
sometimes,
the measure of your life.
sometimes it happens
can
in
test
ways
it.
that you don't
Victor
plan
break
for.
it.
Victor wants to say something.
No, really, you can test it and
Victor
break
wants
it.
to say something.
Okay. Do you know that in many cases when these agreements are made,
Yeah.
you have where the wife wants to leave the marriage, maybe not just because of the man is cheating. I had a story where the wife planted the girlfriend for the guy. He fell into it. She went to court.
Because
She
she
won the
knew
case.
what was going to come
and she
after
went
that.
away with the money.
Yes. So
How long were they married for?
maybe about five years or thereabouts. Okay. So that is why we should focus on love. You need that love at the end of the
I
day.
so
Love and
agree.
respect.
I sure agree.
And your marriage will last. So by the time we start putting money, what will I get out of this? You've not entered though. You are asking, what am I going to get if this thing crashes? You find out that when your mind is made up that there's something waiting for me out there.
Insurance?
Well,
Why
like,
do we do,
like,
why do
Well-
we do health insurance? Are you planning to fall sick?
Well,
No.
well,
Any
this
kind
is
of
not.
insurance for that matter. Are you
No.
planning to have an
Why do you
accident?
do car insurance? Are you planning for your car to be accidented? No.
So why is it that
What are we
I'll have to
talking
come
about?
again? Why is it that in many cases, okay, like we've been discussing now, you find out that we are making it look like the man is at advantage.
In this case, for
Okay,
Hakimi's
why is it that
case,
all
yeah.
the time, okay, we are talking about prenuptial agreement, the mind of everybody will now be like, it is to target the man. Reason. Because in many cases, you find out that the men are the are the ones bringing in the money.
But at the end
So-
of the day, it should be a two-way thing. That's why I said that's why, to the crux of the matter, which is the topic of the day, how important is financial transparency and literacy
those
in a marriage?
conversations, yeah.
Those conversations. Where, okay, so if the man wants to be petty and maybe the woman is earning less, maybe she's earning 100K and he's earning 400K, and then he says, okay, so if you want me to be depositing 100,000 naira in that fail safe, then okay, from your 100K you'll be depositing like 40K on that same fail
So,
safe.
Natasha,
if he wants to be petty, but at the end of the day, let's have that conversation. It's just important.
Okay,
It's just,
that conversation, let me also tell you what that conversation also brings for men, African men, Nigerian men. Okay, when they are outside the country, you find out that they don't want to over-invest over there.
Right.
They bring it down home. They can even bring their investment to their village.
Yeah. Sure.
Come and collect my property from my amana. Come to my community and collect my property. You get so it is not nice that we're entering into a marriage and everybody is calculating. I'm doing calculus on you. You are doing differential equation on me. It doesn't
That's
make
why I
sense.
think it brings us back to the love concept.
Exactly.
Where love is supposed to be the foundational
What are supposed
thing.
to be the foundations that will uphold your marriage?
Yeah.
One of the strongest pillars for me, if you ask me as a married person, is love. Because once that is taken out, that's where all the whole calculations and I'm a professional, I'm an exposed person, I know this, I know that, begins to play out. If you love enough and you show up your partner's love, there are things you wouldn't even bring to the table for discussion. That notwithstanding, we need to protect our loved ones. If we say we truly love, we need to protect them from family and poachers, because these things are real. If something happens to most men in Africa, once something happens to the husband, families can come after them. If we are having conversation as to how we are protecting our family and our children, my wife and my kids, that's a different pot of kettle than saying that if you cheat on me, what am I going to take off you?
If marriage goes south.
So final takes. So we're wrapping this up real quick.
Yeah.
Quick question. Off the top of your head or off the top of your heart, because we've talked about love, what would be your ideal percentage? We're not planning for anything to go bad as Nigerians that we are, but being married and also for us getting married, what would be your ideal percentage to give to your wife or your husband, regardless if things go south and things don't end up the way that you decide that it ends up, without prenuptial agreements and all those divorce settlements? What would you naturally just say, okay, you know what, I know this didn't work, but from my wealth, this is the percentage I'll give to you.
Sorry,
And if there's none, and if that conversation should not even happen, I mean, it's our take. So, Victor.
Sorry, I don't want to be stubborn here. Okay, you asked the question and you want me to follow the guidelines, but I think the kids should, for me, they should be protected first.
Yeah.
Before the wife.
Of course, the kids should be protected
Right.
very well. Okay.
Now I feel kind of sad, but okay. Kids before the wife.
Right?
Of course,
You know, it
now,
just
of course.
brought a thought to my
Because
mind.
the same wife you are talking about, some of them, some of them will, when the action happens, whether she is the one that enforced it or not, she will start crying. Oh, I'm leaving this marriage. Oh God. Start crying. When they not pay that money, she now says, Ozu, get her from here. You now move with the money. So,
It's crazy the things that have happened, yeah.
so please, for me, the kids, settle the kids very well. Then the two of us, the adults, will find
We
a way
can
around
talk,
and
right?
take care of ourselves.
What's your take,
Well, for me, I think that I would prefer that I could give you 50%, 100%, depending on what my income looks like, right, of my wealth, for, just like you said, for the sake of the children and all of that, and for the love that we have shared while it lasted. But that would only come from what we built together.
Not from your own
Not
personal...
from what I knew, what I had made before I met you and before we got married. My reason for saying that is because, so there was a story of a lady who, she had landed property, she had houses and all of that before she met her husband. And then before the marriage, shortly before the ceremony, he had asked her to, do a change of name on all of the documents that he wanted his name to be there. And she was like, these are properties I acquired before I met you. I have a right to say that I want them to remain in my name.
Yeah.
And it's not your call to make, even if I decide that I want to have them changed, right? So for things like that, I think I would just rather go with the fact that, okay, whatever we build together, if you want all of it, 50%, 70%, I'm fine. But please leave what I had before we got married.
That thought is so excellent. So
Well,
excellent.
for me, I think I'm just going to take off a bit of what she said, which is the fact that how far have we come? Like, how far have we traveled to the point where this is no longer good for us and we are, passing ways? That will determine whatever you're getting. But if probably we say we're having
According to you, 10 years.
no, at least from that point on, if you're even taking up to 50% of my wealth, I wouldn't be bothered, because I believe that at that time we have kids. And let's not also forget that sometimes these women are at the cheating end you find out that your wife is about to elope with another man. And she's not just eloping, she's eloping with 50% of your wealth to go and empower another man. How well will you feel inside as a man? It's not, you would want to fight tooth and nail to ensure that she doesn't leave a penny of yours. So these are, let's not make it look like sometimes, or most of the time, the men go and look for, sometimes these women, we say men cheat, but women also cheat. And sometimes these relationships they end because, like I will always say, one party has breached a contract. What party, whatever party is breaching the contract, we need to understand that that will determine what men or the woman is willing to let go of. Look at this one now. The man has gone ahead to mess up the marriage, but she's about to lose money to him.
In addition to losing her marriage.
It's hurtful.
Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
For me personally, I mean, at the end of the day, love is fair. Love should be just. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us at the premiere of the show, Say It Like It Is. And we have said it like it is for us. And what say you? Do drop your comments there. Would like to know what you think. And remember, like, share, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and definitely stay tuned with us. From me, Natasha Brown, and my co-anchors, this is Staff TV. Bye for now.